Star, are you ready?
I'm a lady.
And welcome to iDOL Days, the show about idol animes. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Star.
First episode.
Wow, episode 0.
Episode 0.
As I've been calling it, Idol Academy, the intro to idols and your wonderful hosts. That's us.
That's us. Hey Star, what's an idols?
Good question. No one really knows. Okay. So, I guess to get started is, this is our idol anime themed podcast. And because some folks might not be familiar with what an idol is or what an idol anime is, we're going to do a real quick introduction on some basic terminology, definitions. It's idol boot camp. Get ready for it.
Boot camp.
So to answer your question, Sarah, an idol is kind of a catch-all term for a Japanese pop star. The main thing they do is sing and dance. It's very cute. There are boy idols and girl idols. Most idol shows are about girl idols, but guy-idols.
Guy idols. Yep.
That's my term. Trademark, copyright.
Put a patent in.
Yep. There are idol shows too. There's more of them in the last 5 years, but for the longest time it was mostly girls. So they're mostly song and dance performers, but they also sometimes are hosts on variety shows. They act in movies, TV shows, stage plays. They're in commercials and advertisements. And the whole thing, idol celebrity culture in Japan is very different from how it is in America and other countries.
So it's not like American Idol.
No, it is not. That is different. So the thing about idol culture is the idea is an idol is supposed to be kind of perfect.
So these are the real people idols.
Yes, real people idols. They're supposed to be very perfect, flawless, kind of angelic beings. Any scandal can be career ruining for an idol in Japan.
So it's almost like a combination of the celebrity culture we're familiar with and the more traditional word idol.
Yeah. There's a big, purity culture thing going on in, the whole Japanese idol culture. A lot of idol companies have rules in their contracts that say, as long as you are an idol in our agency, you are not allowed to date. Because that makes you less marketable for people who want to buy all your merch.
So what do you mean by agencies? Tell me about some of these agencies, Star.
Yes, so idols typically work for talent agencies who are the ones producing them, marketing them, making all the stuff, hosting events, things like that. So a lot of people will go out and audition to be an idol, and that's kind of what the scope of a lot of these shows is. It's like, I want to be an idol, and here's the process of how we do that. So an idol anime is either becoming an idol or your activities once you are an idol. There's a lot of shows that are specifically about, they're kind of a fantasized ideal of an idol academy. Like, I'm going to school to be an idol. That kind of thing.
So it's definitely more of an extrapolation of the real life thing, which is...
Yes, it's an extrapolation and a fantasyization. A lot of these are a lot less grittier than, say, the actual music industry would be. Idol shows are kind of like Magical Girls in that they focus on the happy, cute stuff and less so on the dark, edgy, gritty reality of the music industry.
With some exceptions.
With some exceptions that we'll get to.
One day.
Someday. But yes, so there's a lot of other things that go on, a lot of other little facets of idol culture that you can see in these idol anime. A big one that I would like to talk about is wotage.
Whoa, wotage.
Hey. I was trying to turn it into a cheer and it kind of fizzled out. But that was very good. I enjoyed that. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Since you gave us that intro, would you like to talk about wotage?
So, okay. I always think of wotage like, when you watch Rocky Horror Picture Show live.
Oh my god, that's the perfect analogy!
And it's kind of like the call and response, right? So it might be, for example, someone might say a toast, and the audience throws toast at the screen. Similarly,
except don't throw toast at idols.
Don't throw toast at idols. But similarly, an idol might have a line or a song, and the audience will have a set response, like a little woda, a little cheer that goes along with it. And sometimes it's more of like a call and response thing. Like Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, like a lot of in some shows when a character or a performer in Idol will have a brief little solo line, after they're finished the audience will like shout their name really loud before the next person starts singing. It's really cute. But yeah, so Wotage is typically very choreographed by the fans. It's a series of either like chants or call and responses, and the idea is that it's supposed to be like you are helping to cheer on your idols. You're like putting all your hands in the sky and giving them your spirit energy or what have you.
And it's an expected call and response, so it's the whole audience doing it, or at least the whole audience that's familiar with it doing it at the same time.
Yes, if you watch live performances of Idol shows, the audience is super loud the entire time. I honestly really like watching live footage of concerts. It's so cool to like see everybody rocking around in unison. It's super neat.
And I feel like within this star, could you tell us about Penlights and King Blades?
Yes. So typically, instead of toast, like one would have in Rocky Horror.
Okay, what if we brought Penlights to Rocky Horror? Put a pin in that and think about it.
You know, that might be fun. I want a penlight shaped like a piece of toast, please and thank you. Penlight companies, get on it. But yes, so instead of having toast or what have you that you throw at the screen, Wotage usually has like little light sticks. So they're like big LED glow sticks, basically. They have a bunch of different names. Penlight, Light Sticks, Kingblade, and Lumika are, those two are brand names, I believe. And basically the idea is you have minimum one in each hand, and you can change the color on them. Some of them are solid color, some of them there's a button at the bottom and you can change what color it is.
So you can change the kind of color depending on the song or the idol if they have an image color.
Yes, so sometimes idols are assigned an image color, like the Powerpuff Girls. It's like, this is the pink one, this is blue, you're green. And so if Bubbles is your favorite, she's the blue one, so you'll make your light sticks blue.
I feel like we're showing our age star referencing Powerpuff Girls and Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Rocky Horror Picture Show is my mom's generation.
That's true.
We're not that old yet.
Not yet.
But yeah, and so the idea is that's another part of cheering on your idol. It's like you want to show, they can see the light sticks from the stage, so you're showing them your dedication. I think my favorite example of a light stick display I've ever seen was it was a video from a Vocaloid concert, and somebody had a bunch of light sticks in like just this fan of like little green ones. Like it was a full 180. There were probably like 10 sticks taped together, and I'm like, dang.
That's cute.
You really like Hatsune Miku.
One of the cooler light stick things I've seen was actually from a Love Live concert in the United States.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the rainbow?
The rainbow, the American Rainbow. Love Live fans, when Aqua's was performing live, I think it was Aqua's, the fans lit up a rainbow with the key blades. Yeah, it was pretty.
So that's the Aqua Rainbow. And so the idea is in that song, in the anime, there's like a rainbow, but the colors are in a weird sequence. And so in the audience, they said, okay, before the concert, they planned it all out. It's like, okay, everybody in seats A through F, during this part of the song, you make your light sticks this color. And then everybody in these rows make your light sticks this color. And so during that part of the song, the audience lit up. The entire audience had this rainbow of colors. And apparently it made some of the performers cry afterwards. And I'm like, yes, this is good.
And it was all
good emotions.
It was all fan organized. And these are typically all fan organized.
Yeah, and so like Love Live is a good example because they have a lot of really choreographed stuff for the audience. I think my personal favorite is one of the songs. During one part, like right at the big climax of the song, everybody changes to orange because it's part of the music video.
Yes.
It's like all the lights in the trees change to a bright orange, but in the audience, like during that part of the song, that big crescendo, the entire audience will change to orange glow sticks, and it's like, oh, my heart.
I feel like this is a good time to talk about the fact that some 2D idols end up having 3D performances and vice versa.
That's a good call. Yes, thank you, Sarah.
So we're talking Love Live. Love Live is an idol anime.
Arguably, probably the most popular.
Probably
at
right
this
now,
exact
one
moment.
of the most popular. with, you have to question mark whether some things are idols or not. Looking at you, Hatsune Miku.
Well, for this specific case, let's talk about like specifically idol anime because that's what the podcast is about.
That makes sense. So Love Live originally, well, I don't know if it originally was a game first or an anime.
Okay, Love Live is kind of, we can talk about it as a multimedia project.
Yes, Love Live is a multimedia project.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of these. They're becoming more popular now because a lot of people are riding that popularity wave. So there's a bunch of shows where like they'll start as just, they have the voice actresses as a group and they'll release a couple singles, and they go out, perform like a lot of times they do like animated music videos, sometimes they do dance videos like for the choreography. Eventually they might make it into an anime. Love Live made it into an anime after just being a string of music videos for a couple years.
And then after the anime and the mobile game became very popular, the voice actors ended up kind of having roles as idols themselves.
Yeah, I'm sure this was probably the intent from the beginning.
Yes.
But the voice actresses, the ones who are actually singing the song and voicing the characters, will go up on stage and actually perform as their characters. Like, it's kind of like, it's like bringing the anime into real life and you get to watch them perform on stage. It's very cool.
And I know that a lot of times the voice actors kind of become more of an idol light, so people might know their names. However, I know, at least especially in Idol Master, a lot of them, are married or have children or are older, where that might not be as common in traditional live idols.
Yeah. Because a lot of times when they're casting for the anime, they don't necessarily like, their priority is having a good voice for their characters. Second priority is you will be a performer if we ever do live concert shows.
Yes. And some of them do have history of being idols before switching into voice acting, and sometimes vice versa.
Yeah, I'm personally not as up to date on real life idols. I like to watch the anime and that's it.
Starlet likes anime.
I do, okay? I like animes. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't be making a podcast about it.
And also sometimes some live action idol groups get anime made after them. The big one I can think of is AKB.
Yes, so AKB is like the idol group in Japan. They're huge. They have like over 100 members. They've got a bunch of different subgroups.
They have that cafe.
Don't know how anyone remembers all their names. It's ridiculous. But they got an anime that we are definitely going to do an episode about later because I love it. It's AKB0048. It's a sci-fi version. Oh, it's so good.
I'm very excited.
You got to watch that one, Sarah, because I've already seen it and you need to see it because there's a character you need to cosplay.
So excited.
Yes, we need to be Yoko and Takamina. Please, 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 please.
Sold.
So we've talked about idols for a little bit. I want to cover just a handful of other stuff that might come up. First is handshake events. So a lot of times people will have the opportunity to go and like meet these idols in person. And usually it's, if you buy merch, you get a ticket to wait in line and then shake their hands for 10 seconds. And this is not super popular in anime. Doesn't come up, but it does come up in a few that are more quote unquote realistic depictions of idols.
Quote unquote, for sure.
Very, very heavy quotes. So the last thing I wanted to talk about is the concept of graduation. This is what they call it when an idol, for whatever reason, leaves the group. They are graduating out of the group to go on and pursue other things.
And some real life idols, it's like actually a big ceremony.
Yeah, it's a big deal for depending on your idol group. Like AKB, it's a big deal if someone graduates.
And then one other thing I would like to bring up is just the flower bouquets and fan things. So oftentimes at live events, not even just necessarily idols, fans will put together, usually fan organized, big giant flower stand bouquets. And they usually are on display along with other big they're just pretty flowery things on usually easels or stands, flower arrangements.
Yeah, these are like flower arrangements as big as a human possibly bigger. And I got to see a couple in person because I got to go to a couple live shows when I was in Japan, and they're so pretty.
And it's just another way fans and colleagues show appreciation for...
Yeah, the fan-idol relationship is a big deal in modern-day idol culture.
Yes.
We could go in and do a whole analysis on it, but this front episode is mostly just supposed to be a basic concepts.
Very basic stuff.
It's definitely worth looking into if it's the kind of thing you're interested in, but we gotta move on because it's not supposed to be a long episode.
And if you are interested, just Google parasocial relationships and have
fun.
Oh boy. Have fun reading.
Yep. There's a couple documentaries out there about idol culture that are pretty interesting. We might actually do episodes on that later.
I think that's a great idea, Starla.
But for the front-running episodes, those are some of the terms you need to know.
So what if I know about idols but don't know a lot about anime terms? I just want to go over a couple of these really quick.
Yeah, let's go over anime terms because, Sarah, you and I are both animators by trade.
We are.
So we have thoughts about this.
We do have thoughts about this. So something we're going to bring up a lot is 2D and 3D animation.
Mm-hmm.
So 2D animation is usually either drawn on the computer or drawn by hand.
Think like old school Disney movies.
Think like old school Disney movies, though with anime, the frame rate, which is how many frames or how many pictures you get for each second, is usually a lot lower than Disney animation just because it takes time to draw.
Yeah, anime is usually on a pretty tight budget.
Pretty tight budget. And the other type of animation you often see in idol shows is 3D animation, where characters are modeled in a 3D rendering software, and then they usually are given like some sort of 2D cell shading, so very simple shading to make them blend into the anime.
Yeah, the idea is usually you're supposed to not be able to tell the difference. But you usually can, depending on how much money they funnel into the 3D.
Yes. 3D that looks good is not usually cheap. There are places to use 3D for sure. 3D is very good when you need to visualize moving cameras or things like trucks or backgrounds.
Very complex motion.
Yes. The other thing that you sometimes see is a combination of the two, which we kind of refer to as rotoscoping, where people animate on top of, so they kind of use the 3D animation or the live action as a template, and they draw over it with the characters. So it looks like 2D animation, though it was animated on top of 3D.
This is getting very technical, and this is the problem with podcasting. We can't show you the difference, but when we talk about the use of it in specific shows, we'll be able to point you to videos to go watch, and you'll be able to see what we're talking about.
It's just that. That's easy.
Yeah. Yeah, so some idol shows, you can tell they've got a big budget, and they were able to put a lot of money into making their 3D look very, very good.
And then Zombieland Saga.
Zombieland Saga is not even the worst of it.
It's not.
Zombieland Saga I would give like a B-.
That's true.
Maybe a C. There are some definite Fs.
That's
and
fair.
We'll get there.
Oof.
But there are also some definite A+.
Oh, yes.
Like Prepar and Aikatsu, the later seasons, definitely.
The other way you can tell is 3D usually has a higher frame rate, so you'll be able to if you skip through every few seconds on your keyboard, period and comma, I think is YouTube. You can see if they move or not, and if they don't move, it's probably 2D, and if they do move, it's likely 3D or rotoscoped.
Yeah, it's hard to lock on to exactly what throws people off about 3D. It's usually a combination of things.
Yes, and I feel like for me, a lot of when it's bad animation is when it's not as seamless as it could be. It kind of takes you out when the style changes. Yeah,
the idea is you're not supposed to be able to tell the difference, because 3D is supposed to be a time and money saving crutch that anime companies use in order to get their stuff out on time. If it's done well, it's hardly noticeable. If it's done poorly, it yanks you right out of the experience, and you spend the rest of the episode laughing about, oh wow, how bad was that 3D animation?
Yeah. Other things with anime, just really quick, I want to talk about just some genres we'll be referring to.
Yes, go for it.
My favorite genre, and one I'll refer to a lot, is slice of life.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I consider slice of life things that don't have magic. They're not heavily influenced by drama, and they could take place in the real world. And also, they're not historical. So slice of life is more realistic, so more of a modern person doing things than, say, your fantasy or your mecha.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, there have been like fantasy slice of life shows, but they're not very common.
No, they're not. Like, I would say Flying Witch is a fantasy slice of life, for example, if anyone's familiar with that show. However, I would say it's a lot more focused on character. If there is drama, it's not a life or death sort of drama situation. And
It's like Senpai's mad at me drama.
Yes, it's like Senpai's mad at me drama. Also, very quickly, within slice of life, there's a subgenre called cute girls doing cute things. And that's basically what it is. You think like Lucky Star, you think K-On! Those are slice of lives where things don't really happen, but there's cute girls or cute boys or both just living
And
life.
they do cute things.
They're just doing cute things. There's no main conflict. And there are idols that fall within that. And then another genres that you'll see in idol shows, they kind of span genres. So you'll also get comedies, you'll get dramas, you will get sci-fi and fantasy. There's everything in idol shows.
Yeah, it's like the longer the idol fad continues, the more out there some of the premises get.
Yes.
So a lot of idol shows that are older, it's just like, oh, we're just idols. Oh, we're just idols. But now it's like, oh, we're idols and politicians.
And
oh,
we have
we're
cat
idols
ears.
in space.
I can't wait for Idols in Space.
It's so good. You gotta watch it.
I know. We
It's
talked about
the
it already.
most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. And I love it
I'm
so
excited.
much.
Also, some animes will have idol episodes. We might talk about this, but a lot of times it's one episode or two episodes where all of a sudden either the characters are idols or they're performing in an idol play or...
It's a popular topic.
Yes. It happens
For like,
often.
let's do a silly episode.
Yes. Not as often
Now
as a beach
everyone's
episode,
idols.
but still pretty often.
No, it's not beach episode or sports festival episode tier, but it's definitely like idol episode. I can name several shows that have done it.
Oh, yes. And
Well, we might talk about those.
you, very likely. At least adjacently.
Yeah.
And then Starlight, is anime real?
Yeah, you wrote that in the notes document that we're sharing. You just wrote, is Hatsune Miku an idol? Is Hatsune Miku an anime? Is anime real?
They're all really important questions.
We're gonna skip over
Okay,
those.
that's fine.
But yeah, so next topic is what makes a show an idol show. As is expected to be so there's a difference between an idol character and an idol show, because not all idol characters are in idol anime, but if it's an idol anime, the characters should be idols.
Yes. Squares and rhombuses.
So, yeah, basically. So to be considered a quote-unquote idol show, aka the stuff we're going to be focusing on in this podcast, the main characters should be idols. Idol activities should be the main focus of the series.
Yes.
Whether they are becoming idols or doing idol-based activities, or idols are a big focus of the show.
And there may be some gray area. I can list a few examples. You could think of Banged Dream or K-On! Or Given, which we may talk about. But it's
I've never heard of that one.
Given's the boys in a band.
Oh, boys.
Boys.
But yeah, like, other music shows are very vague. It's like they're kind of in the gray area where they're not really idols, but it's still, they have a lot of tropes in common. We're going to play with the gray area. We might do an episode on K-On! Because Sarah loves it so much.
It's my favorite anime.
I love it too, but not technically idols, but has a lot of tropes in common.
Yes.
Okay, so now we've talked about idols for however many minutes. A brief primer on idols. Boom, complete. So now, let's meet the people who are going to be screaming at you about idols for several hours every episode. So, hi, my name is Star.
Hi, Star.
Hi, Sarah. I am a freelance artist and illustrator. I live in Austin, Texas. Yeehaw, as we say.
Yeehonk.
No one. Okay, if you're gonna tease me, don't appropriate Texas culture, Sarah. Gosh. But yes, so I got into idols because one day Sarah showed me like one of the dance performance videos from the Idolmaster anime, and I was like, wow, that's some pretty good animation. And then I went and looked at it. I watched the first episode of the anime and I got bored. I turned it off for like 6 months. And then later I came back to it. I was like, oh no, this is pretty good actually. Oh no, I'm in the hell pit. I'm in the idol hell pit. Someone pushed me in, and I'm still there to this day.
And then you met Makoto.
My wife, my angel. Makoto from Idolmaster is best girl. I love her. I have so many figures of her. If this were not a podcast, I could show pictures of my idol shelf.
Maybe at some point we could share it on our website.
Or on like Twitter or some shit.
Twitter. Yeah.
I very much enjoy, I'm less of a slice of life person than Sarah. I like stuff with a strong narrative and good character development and like an overarching story that keeps me invested and engaged. Slice of life can occasionally do that, but for me, I'm more about like the drama of it all. I enjoy drama shows. I like getting emotional about idols and cute girls achieving their dreams. I also like, if there's a bummer idol show, I'm probably going to be the one to watch it because that's my jam. I want to get emo. Yes, so I enjoy drawing. I have a webcomic called Cast Off. It has nothing to do with idols, but if you enjoy like found family stories about fantasy children on the run from the fantasy cops, you should read it. I work on it a lot. Besides idols, it's like all I talk about.
I know a lot about it. I know secrets about it. You should read it.
Sarah's on my spoiler squad.
Woohoo.
But yes, castoff-comic.com. Cough, cough. Anyway, I like video games. I cosplay occasionally, but I'm in a slump right now, so not so much at the moment. Also, everything's canceled. We're recording this during some bad times in America.
Yes.
Nothing is happening right now, but someday cosplay will be a thing again for me. Best girls. Makoto, best girl, hands down. But I like a lot of other characters from other Idolmaster franchises.
So Makoto,
Cinderella.
just to clarify, Makoto from Idolmaster.
Makoto from Idolmaster, yes. But then also in Idolmaster Cinderella Girls, I like Now, my fluffy eyebrows princess. In Million Live, doesn't have an anime yet, but it still counts. Umi and Kaori are my babies. And then AKB0048, Yuko Oshima! I love you, marry me.
I'm excited to meet her.
Yes, she's a good bean. You will like her, I think.
So what hooked you in the end on Idol Hell?
So Idol Hell was kind of a slow descent for me, but then I fell into the pit. 'Cause idols came into my life at like a very weird time in my personal development. I was in college. I was just kind of getting started cosplaying.
Art school.
But at art school, yes. We were roommates, by the way. That's how we know each other.
They were roommates.
Oh my god, they were roommates. That joke's not going to be made constantly.
Oh, yes. That's the call and response for us.
Yeah, it's like, that's our Wodage.
That's our Wodage. We say, I'm Sarah, I'm Starla, and they were roommates.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
That's the call and response.
I'm glad we're setting this up in front. But yeah, so I was just getting into cosplay, but I'm a very tall human. I am 5'10". I'm a large human. And because of that, whenever I would do cosplay groups with my buddies, I would always get typecast as the tall one, which usually meant that I was cosplaying a dude, which I didn't have a problem with in and of itself, but it kind of had a negative effect on me because I felt like I couldn't do cute cosplays because it's like, I'm too tall, I can't be cute. But then I found Idolmaster.
But then Makoto.
And then Makoto happened, and her whole shtick is that she's very boyish, but she still wants to wear a dress and be a princess. And I'm like, my angel, I love you. Oh no, I'm in the pit.
I understand. I love
But
you.
basically, it kind of helped me embrace my femininity, if nothing else, and just kind of get comfortable with, like, being girly, and you can still be cute even if you're super tall. I'm talking to all you tall girls in the audience. You're adorable. Go out there and live your cosplay dreams and be cute, because no one can stop you. And if anyone says you're too tall to be cute, step on them.
That's amazing, Star.
That's all. Thank you. I'm very passionate.
I'm proud of you.
Oh, one last footnote for me, because it's gonna come up. I recently did a 2-year stint teaching English in Japan. And so I got to experience idol culture for realsies while I was over there.
Yay.
Got to go to a few live shows. It was very neat. Wotage is very hardcore, and I was not prepared for it. We'll talk about that someday.
I'm very excited about your perspective, Star.
Now, Sarah. Tell
Is
me about yourself.
Okay.
I love you.
You too, Star. Well, amazing. So my name is Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Star. I met Star in college, and this is how we met. I was in a crowd. I was lost. I couldn't see anything because I am 4'11"
and 3/4.
And I saw someone tall, and I was like,
"That's me.
Hey, you're tall. Can you show me where to go?"
And then it turned out that we were both going to the same place.
Wow.
And so I led her like a tall seeing eye dog to our orientation group.
It was amazing. And I think our first cosplay, we did Mori and Honey from Oron.
Yup, because
it's
I
pretty
was
good.
Mori and you were Honey, because I can actually carry you around on my back, and there are pictures.
Yes, it's good.
But this is a podcast.
But this is a podcast. But you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's our meet cute.
I live in Atlanta, Georgia, but I grew up in Orlando, Florida.
East Coast.
Yes, East Coast. I cosplay a lot. I do art, but it's mostly traditional. And my day job is I do art and 3D animation and live action filming and all of that kind of artsy stuff, but for corporate jobs. So
Yeehaw.
you might have seen my things, but never have known and never will know.
Oh,
It's a secret.
Non-disclosure agreements. Whoa.
NDAs. So my background is actually mostly 3D animation, but I like 2D too. I like anime.
Yeah.
I am a black belt. That's a fun fact.
When the first time we met, she flipped me on the ground.
No, the second time. It wasn't the first time.
Second time.
First time I asked you for help. Second time I flipped you on the ground.
Yes, because I poked her in the shoulder, and then the next thing I knew, I was looking at the ceiling.
Yeah, it happens.
It was wild.
It happens.
And that's when I knew that we were going to be friends forever.
Friends for life.
Wow.
Wow. So I also am a huge cosplayer. I might have mentioned that. I cosplay a lot and actively, though mostly I cosplay from video games rather than idol shows right now. Those
What video game, Sarah? Tell the people what you cosplay.
Monster Hunter
Hell yeah!
and Grand Blue Fantasy.
Hell yeah!
Those are my big ones right now. A lot of those.
We're gonna cosplay Grand Blue together someday,
Yeah,
Soro. We
Grand
gotta be
Blue.
Leisha and Monica.
Yeah, let's do it. I think I've mentioned earlier, but my favorite genre is slice of life anime.
She's a slice of life monster.
I love slice of life. My world changed when Lucky Star came out when I was in high
my
school. It really changed my life and perspective. Like, you all can do your One Piece and Dragon Ball Z's, and that's fine, and I enjoy them. But let me sit down with some Lucky Star and K-On, and I'm good.
I was more of a Haruhi Suzumiya person myself, but you do you.
Haruhi is also very... Anything that is Kyoto Animation, I love. KyoAni, so they're definitely my favorite animation studio. I don't... Unless you count Haruhi parts, I don't think they've done an idol anime, though.
Kyokai no Kanata had the idol episode.
They had an idol episode, and Hibike has kind of the striving and music themes, and of course
But
K-On.
it's about marching band.
Yeah, and K-On, it's the same thing,
And
but
K-On
it's
is
a
bandy.
band.
But like guitar band.
Yeah, but I still like idol anime. I like watching things that are slice of life. I'm good with the drama idols, so I'm excited.
Sarah, who are your best girls?
So my best girl across all franchises is Anna Mochizuki. She's in Idolmaster the movie, and she's also a Million Live girl. But
Million Live is good. It'll get an anime eventually, damn it.
I hope so.
They gotta do it.
But
they gotta give it an anime. It's so good.
But she's my daughter. I want to protect her and cheer her on forever. You know? Otherwise, I also really fell in deep with Hanamaru from Love Live Sunshine.
Good bean.
She's really sweet, Zura. She's great. I just love her. And then
she's a good bean.
And then, like, if you count K-On, like Azusa, you know.
She's also a good bean. We're gonna cosplay K-On someday.
One day.
I gotta decide if I'm gonna be Yui or Mio.
I understand. We'll figure it out.
They're both good. They're both good.
They're all good. But yeah, my favorites are shows that have a lot of, like, internal growth rather than extreme, like, drama situations. So that's kind of why I stick to slice of life. And one other big thing about me is I am a shipper. And
she is the biggest shipper I've ever met.
I ship so many characters, and especially in slice of lives where, you know, people are learning and growing. Sometimes someone else helps them learn and grow. And then maybe it'd be nice if they held hands. I don't know.
Oh my god, they're holding hands.
I know. It's
confirmed.
Lewd. Hand holding in my anime.
It's more likely than you think.
So, Star, where can people find you on the internet?
Yes, so social media for me is fairly consistent. I am at the Starfish Face on pretty much every platform. I'm mostly active on Twitter, and I post my art a lot on Instagram.
And what's the website for your comic again while we're here?
castoff-comic.com. Read it, please.
Read it.
I've been told it's pretty good.
My handle in most places is One Tiny Rabbit, spelled out ONETINYRABBIT.
Just like the words.
Just like the words. I'm most active on Twitter right now. I have accounts in other places, but I don't check often.
Yeah. I mostly scream at you on Twitter, if anything.
Oh, yes. Star, and where can people see more information about our podcast right now?
So we have just a very basic website that's going to have a little bit more info about the show and about us. It's iDOL Days, idoldays.carrd.co.
Two
so
R's.
That's idoldays.card.co, card with 2 R's.
Thank you for listening to our introduction episode.
Yes, thank you for attending our iDOL Academy.
So we're going to start getting into the nitty-gritty, go through a bunch of different iDOL animes, and talk about what we like and don't like soon.
Yes, so stay tuned. Keep your eyes on this spot, and we'll be back with more iDOL animes for you to enjoy.
Bye!
Bye!